That was the thing from the network. So we just have to create a new access real quickly. The service provider can be very funny at times. So just have to create a new access. Let's wait for others to join. Okay. We are taking it's a continuation of pole 326, the abiotic component. And real quickly, we're going to be walking through this. Let's wait for others to join. The abiotic components. That's what we are taking. The abiotic components. I think others will be able to track from the other hand. The initial link was interrupted, the initial class was interrupted. So just have to create this one real quickly so we can continue with the class. Let's ensure to reach out to others, to inform others, all right, to join the new class, all right. We are taking the course Pole 326, abiotic components. Okay, so let's just wait for others to join before we get started. Let's wait for others to join so we can go back to things. Okay. Okay, according to the thumbnail, we have on the course Pole 326. Just waiting for others to join before we get started. Okay, so let's get started. Let's go straight in things. Let's go straight into the business of the day. Network is pretty unstable. Now we have abiotic components. Abiotic components. Okay, hopefully others will join on the way as the class commences. Hopefully others will join. So when we talk about this, how did we get to the abiotic components? Remember quite all right. We have been discussing about the environment, and we're talking about the component that makes up the environment, and that led us to the discussion of, all right, these components grouped majorly into two, which are the abiotic and the biotic. So to start with, we are going to be talking about the abiotic component first. Then we're going to be talking about the biotic as well. Now we'll talk about the abiotic components. These components are the comprises of non-living components of the environment. All right, the non-living components. And when we talk about the non-living components, we all know we have a list of these components, the likes of the atmosphere, hydrosphere, lithosphere, the biosphere. These are the components that makes up the abiotic components. And when we talk about the atmosphere, all right, the atmosphere of the Earth serves as a key factor in sustaining the what? Planetary ecosystem. All right, it is a thin layer of gases. All right, it happens to be the thin layer of gases that envelops the Earth. All right, it envelopes this thin layer of gases, envelopes the Earth. It serves as a shield. All right, for what we refer to pla- it serves as a shield for what we refer to as the planet's gravity. All right, the atmosphere retains heat during night. All right, it reduces the daily temperature extremes. The atmosphere goes a long way. All right, if it's too hot, we get rain, and if it's too cold, we get a little bit of some heat. All right, and it also helps to keep the air purified. It's a thin layer of gases. Okay, and now we also have the, speaking of the atmosphere, then we can talk of nitrogen and oxygen. Okay, we can speak of nitrogen and oxygen, and they are the main components. So under this atmosphere, remember we refer to atmosphere as, we refer to atmosphere as thin layer of gases that envelopes the Earth. Okay, it acts as a shield for, all right, the planet's gravity. Now, under this atmosphere, there we have nitrogen and oxygen. So we have nitrogen and we have oxygen. Okay, and they happen to be the main components of the atmosphere. All right, the nitrogen and the oxygen happen to be the main components of the atmosphere. All right, if you are to give the nitrogen and the oxygen some volume, all right, if you are to weigh it by volume, then these two gases makes up approximately 99% of the dry atmosphere. All right, makes up 99% of the dry atmosphere. The nitrogen and the oxygen makes up 99% of the atmosphere. Okay, so we have that as that. Now, the oxygen is used and reused by green plants and man. Very important. The oxygen. And, this is why some advanced country, they don't joke with trees. All right. Because oxygen plays a very important role for living things. All right. And if this oxygen is being polluted by our technology, what helps in reducing this air pollution is the trees we have. All right. So the trees help in taking in bad oxygen and gives us good, cleaned, and purified one. All right. So that's why you see some estates or some parts of the world, they don't joke. They don't joke with, all right, tree planting. because it goes a long way in helping to purify the air. So let's take a step further. Now, still under the biotic component, the biotic components, we have hydrogen. All right, and for hydrogen, okay, for hydrogen, it refers to the body of water on Earth's surface. Okay, the body of water on Earth's surface.